Hey, how's it going? Today I'm talking about stretching hurts you. This is Running to the Castle, a podcast for injury-prone Run Disney runners on a journey to running magical miles. Join me, Dr. Allie, as I share the secrets I've gathered as a runner, doctor of physical therapy, and coach. You'll learn the exact ways I get my clients to the castle strong without feeling broken or held together with KT tape as they cross the finish line. Okay, so before we get into this episode, I will clarify just a little bit. Stretching can absolutely be very good for you. Okay, static stretching after a run, after a workout, dynamic stretching before a run, before a workout, they can be excellent for you. I am talking specifically to the people who have a very specific type of ache, pain, where stretching will hurt you. So I'm talking to that person. I'm going to describe that exact scenario for you. So keep listening to see if possibly stretching is hurting you. Okay, so if you're someone who has specific pain where a whole area aches, especially later in the day, after a long run, but not really during the run, and sometimes it lasts into the next day. Stretching after a run and before bed makes it better, but the next night, whether you ran or not, the ache is back and it's getting more and more uncomfortable. And maybe you can't even get comfortable to sleep. So you Google what to do or you ask in a Facebook group and you find different stretches to do. So you do them. They make the ache better. They feel pretty good while you're doing it and it stays pretty comfortable for a few minutes or hours, but the ache always comes back. Then, after 2 or 3 months of this, you notice that you have a very specific swelling in an area. In your Achilles tendon, in the tendon in front of your knee. Those are 2 examples. It's swollen and you have these like bubbles or pockets of swelling on either side of it, but nothing else is swollen. You can see your ankle bones, your foot, your calf aren't swollen, your shin and your thigh aren't swollen. It doesn't really hurt to touch, but it's definitely there. If that's you, the stretching you're doing is making it worse. So most of the time, these symptoms mean you have tendinitis. Achilles tendinitis, patellar tendinitis, those are the 2 most common ones in runners. And I know all of these symptoms because I've seen countless runners over the years with them, plus with my graduate school research project to get my DPT was a whole year of research on Achilles tendinopathy, which includes tendinitis. And now I specialize in runners with knee problems, so I've seen it a lot. When you have arthritis, there is some tearing in the muscle tendon. And the muscle tendon is the tough part of the muscle. It connects the muscle belly to the bone. It's a fibrous tissue that has a sheen coating around it, and it's a sheath that's around it. So when you have tendinitis, the actual tendon area within that sheath is swollen. So that's why the swelling is very specific to that area. And it's not the whole ankle or the whole knee. And when you have this micro tearing and swelling, the swelling is from inflammation your body has sent to heal the micro tears. Micro tearing is normal. It happens when you run, it happens when you exercise, and during normal everyday life. Normally, the micro tear happens, your body sends a signal to send some inflammation there and heal the area. And it's good to go, and it happens on the regular. But when you're pushing through symptoms and trying to fix it with things that actually make it worse, the disruption overpowers the repair process, and your body can't keep up. So it keeps the swelling there for longer and longer until it doesn't go away. And stretching, I know it feels good. That's because you do it slow and your body knows some stretching is good. So it's like, okay, cool, we're gonna get better. But what you're also doing is pulling those micro tears apart more. So instead of healing, you're adding a few days to the healing process. And if that was all you were doing, the repair process would be able to catch up eventually. but it's not. You're also continuing to add more and more miles or run faster and using the muscle tendon in the same way over and over again. So it continues staying torn and the repair process can't keep up. So imagine if you have a piece of rope and it's fraying. It's not completely cut, but it's fraying. It's an old piece of rope or it's been rubbing against something and wearing down. So you find on Google that you could throw some super glue on it to fix the small amount of fraying. So you do that, and some of the glue starts to set, but you put the rope right back into the same conditions again, where it's rubbing against something and the glue hasn't completely set. So the glue doesn't hold, and there's a little more fraying the next day. This is the same with your tendon. The repair process starts and your body puts a little bit of the self glue down, but the next day you go and stretch again, pulling that self glue apart so the glue never sets and the repair process does not complete. So this is why stretching makes this type of problem worse. And it really stinks because it feels like it's working in the moment. And sometimes it can be hard to tell, is it making me feel better or is it making me worse? And one of the ways to really tell if it's making you better is you shouldn't feel like you keep having to do it over and over and over again. Yes, stretching should be part of your everyday routine, your everyday workout routine. But it should get to the point where stretching is maintenance and feels good. Like a good yoga class feels good. Just a good stretch, it feels good. And the pain that you have, the discomfort that you have, the ache that you have that prompted you to do the stretch, it shouldn't be coming back. You should be feeling, oh, I feel better. Now I'm going to use this stretching as prevention. But if you do the stretch and the pain keeps coming back, that's one indicator that it's likely not helping you and can be making you worse. There, of course, are other factors that we need to look at, like how much you're running, how much you're doing other things. Are you doing something else that's keeping the pain there? That is a telltale that you have to start looking at what you're doing. Stay tuned for the next 2 episodes because I will share what to do instead of stretching. For the runners that want to finish their next Run Disney race stronger and faster so you stop getting injured, you beat the balloon ladies, and you cross the finish line, I invite you to check out my newest program, Stronger, Faster, Finisher. Get the workouts you need to build speed, stamina, and strength. If that sounds like something you're looking for your next race, visit the link in the show notes to learn more. As always, thanks so much for listening. That's all for now. Talk to you soon.